Cannabis community, how are you going to make your day complete? Remember, it's more than wake and bake. It's about letting the plant within, take over for today for a little bit. When we clear the mind, when we actually let it rest in meditation and take on the silence, what becomes obvious is the endocannabinoid system is rebooting, right? And that really does complete the endocannabinoid reset from the plant. When we take on cannabis, when we take on cannabis use, what is it doing? It is rebooting us. Now, for many who have been overwhelmed by stress in their lives, almost everybody in the modern lifestyle, this means that they are coming in unable to reboot because of the stress. Cannabis becomes an essential nutrient, and I'm enjoining you, take the cannabis seriously.
Jah Rastafari, all my friends here, God bless you all. When I see the plant with my friends, I know that our God is mighty and living among us here. You all are my community, and I'm thanking you for being here, for real.
God bless us, everyone.
Every one of us. Everyone. What? That's right. Right, Rev? What do you want for Christmas this year?
The Secret Service would hurt me if I said.
Right. Ain't that the truth? Right, if anybody needs to know my Christmas size, it's about 7 grams.
Ooh!
All right, so that's what gets into my stockings, just right. Right?
That's stocking stuffer stuff.
It's a stocking stuffing season.
Yeah.
Right, we want to talk about like not only the plant, but the plant within. Right, everybody makes the plant within. That's what's different about the plant. The plant is not a drug. The plant is a food. The plant is, in fact, the spice of life, or tree of life. And explain this, right? We're going to talk a little bit with Rudy. Rudy's going to be bringing on. We're going to be discussing Yoga Nidra today, and Yoga Nidra is the way we describe the healing practice of how do you prepare yourself in yoga to get into that mode. Right now, one of the things I want to come across as a physician, not just to talk about how fun it is, but also for real, that cannabis is the way into meditation, and that when we can take on our meditation as a Yoga Nidra, we have open before us a path to peeling. Did I say that right? It was a path to peeling.
Path to healing.
A peeling path.
If it's hot yoga, you'll be peeling.
You'll be peeling. You want a path to peeling. That's why they call it hatha yoga, right? But
hatha yoga is better than none.
Yeah, hatha yoga is none. Right, so we want to basically let the cannabis community, y'all are halfway there, right? The cannabis community is already stretching the muscles, using the endocannabinoid system, and this is where we want to go. Right, Jay, I'm going to need your help to take us to Chomsky if you can in a minute. Right, take me to a live because this thing is out of my fingertips. All right, so give me a Chomsky next, and then we'll come out. You want Chomsky now? Yeah. All right, thank you.
Medical reason for criminalizing marijuana. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with dangerous classes, poor people generally. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with poor people, dangerous classes. First criminalization of marijuana was in the Southwest. It was in New Mexico, later Utah, and so on, and it was specifically targeted against Mexicans. Marijuana didn't get criminalized in the United States until shortly after Prohibition ended. After Prohibition ended, we had this huge bureau of narcotics and had to do something. So they discovered marijuana is going to do all kind of horrible things to you. The Senate testimony about this is mind-boggling. They did have a representative of the American Medical Association who said, we don't have any medical evidence about this. He was shut up, denounced, got rid of him right away. Then they found somebody else, a pharmacologist, a guy teaching at Temple University, who was doing experiments with marijuana and dogs. They brought this guy and he testified that when he gave marijuana to dogs, they went insane. Marijuana to dogs, they went insane. There's all kind of things. Some senator asked him, the guy, well, have you ever tried marijuana on humans? So he said, yeah, I tried it on myself. And he said, well, what happened? He said, I turned into a vulture. I started flying around the room. My God, this stuff is terrible. It makes people insane. And marijuana, it was declared by Congress that marijuana makes people insane. But then something happened. It turned out that lawyers, defense lawyers, got the idea and used this for an insanity defense. So if a guy was found, who killed 3 cops, his lawyer would say, well, he had a he had marijuana before, so he was insane, so he can't do anything. And people were getting off on charges, like cop killing, for example, on the claim that they had marijuana. So all of a sudden it was discovered that marijuana doesn't make you insane. Congress decided, sorry, it doesn't make you insane, because we want to wipe that out. The next idea was marijuana is an entry drug. It's a drug you take and then you go on to something else. Well, there was never any evidence for that. But that was decided. And then in the early 50s, something else happened. Marijuana is being brought in here by red Chinese to poison the American population and destroy us. So therefore, we got to stop marijuana. And it kind of goes on like this. Actually, the peak of marijuana use was, as I said, in the 70s. But that was rich kids, so you don't throw them in jail. And then it got seriously criminalized. You really throw people in jail for it when it was poor people. There has never been a medical reason for criminalizing marijuana. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with poor people, dangerous classes.
Right. Rev.
Yo.
Rev, did you see today? We saw Sessions didn't want to tell us what they were meeting about in the anti-marijuana meeting,
Oh, God.
right? But Sessions actually, like an idiot, you can see he's walking out of the meeting with the agenda under his arms.
So people could
We can read.
screen cap it.
Right, so that's what we're going to talk about in part. The first
Nice.
segment, right?
So somebody did?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what we had the camera for. Right, that was the first picture that we were going to work on today.
Oh, man.
Right, you got me?
Oh.
So, to visual, the proof of it.
Okay.
So anyways, so this is what they're saying. And what really gets you is Sessions is talking to doctors. And he's trying to get the doctors to testify that the weed that we have today
Yeah.
is so much more powerful than the weed of the 60s and 70s. You get it? And this is their big propaganda point. And this is one of the things we want to talk about.
Okay.
Right? The weed today is not stronger than it ever has been before.
No.
No, that's a propaganda point.
There was Hawaiian in the 70s that was absolutely mind-bending.
Right. What used to happen back in the 60s and 70s used to be called, what used to get called brickweed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's swag everywhere.
Swag. We don't. Does anybody? When was the last time anybody saw swag in right? You haven't seen swag since the 90s.
Yeah.
Mitts, or in DC it's called Reggie. Reggie. Yeah. That's what he. Right. Maryland. Yeah. That's how it's local. Locally, it's called Reggie. The Mitts. Yeah, we used to call it in college. You called the miners.
But that was still, because back then in the 90s, though, you know what I'm saying, it was already, you know what I'm saying, like, Reggie was good. This shit they got here, this shit right here tastes terrible.
Now you're talking, because people know about Reggie. It was outdoor Mexican weed. It wasn't so bad to have outdoor weed. There's something good about it. But the bottom line is, when you did their THC analysis with all the stems and all the seeds and everything, it did come out to like 4 to 5% THC.
Right.
Right.
And
Now you do the analysis on the same leaf matter, you're going to get 15, 20% THC. That is true. But the truth is that once you take all the seeds and stem out of the Reggie, it's the same 18, 15%. Right.
It has no terps.
And it has no terps though. But it's outdoor grown, so sometimes it was okay. So anyways, so that's really what's interesting, right? They want to tell us that.
Well, and
Come on, Scooby-Doo, Gabby-T, come on down. Sit down now.
Hold on, I gotta
Come on down, come on camera.
medicated, I gotta get dressed up.
You gotta get dashed up. Come on up,
this man's got a show to
It's a
do.
party now. Come on. Oh!
This man ain't here for your show. He's here for his show. Don't break the toys. Bro, don't break the
So,
toys.
look, it is like a party.
Yeah, but you drop the mic, you buy the mic.
That's true. Oh.
That's just business. That's just.
Who moved the chair? What was that all about? What? Oh, it's like a comedy show.
He trips over stuff all the time. He be tripping.
Where's your chair? I don't want to watch this show. This is embarrassing.
1 2 1 2. All I wanted to say, wait a minute. First of all, if people don't recognize the voice, it's D.O.D. Mayor D.C. Dabbed Out Dubs. Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you some weird. For somebody that's a weed connoisseur, like I graduated from being a pothead, but what people are telling me now, they don't like, you know what I'm saying, the weed. They want to go back to Reggie because it's too damn fucking strong, and they so used to smoking, you know what I'm saying, swag for so fucking long that they don't know the true benefits of terpenes, because you know what I'm saying, with the flavors. Because most of the time when I see my friends, I give a true. Wait a minute, hold up, fuck it. Hey! I'm gonna speak, you know what I'm saying, for everybody that lives, you know what I'm saying, on the other side of the Anacostia River. When you talk about, you know what I'm saying, south side and northeast, you know what I'm saying? So for people, you know what I'm saying, like when you ask them, you know what I'm saying, for medicine, the only thing they know is I got pack. You don't know the strand, you don't know the taste, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I just know I got pack. That's not good for people like me anymore. And I've been smoking weed for damn near like 2 decades, since '99. And like at the end of the day, I'm the type of person that will ask you even more further, like, what's the THC levels? What's the CBD levels? Does it have CBG? Does it have CBN? And then I want people to, and then because I want people to like really look, because when I first asked those questions, they face looked like this. What is he talking about? He's talking very foreign to me. And that's the reason why, is because I want people to enhance their terminologies when it comes to this plant. There's 120 different cannabinoids in one plant. And we talk about THC, CBD, but we don't talk about CBN. We don't talk about CBG. We don't talk about THCA or CBDA. So at the end of the day, for someone that is now a medicinal patient for 3 years, thanks to the program of District of Cannabis, you need to ask whomever you getting it, whether you're getting it from the dispensary or you just getting it, you know what I'm saying, off the streets, what strand am I smoking? Because if somebody just tell you, oh, it's some pack, if you tell me that's just pack, guess what? I move back.
Hey!
Right? That's where, how can one plant be medicine as well as food, as well as, again, for some people, the lift, right? Because it's the plant within that gets activated.
That's comfort food.
Right? It's like, and comfort food. It's all these things.
Yeah.
Right? I think DOD just put his finger on it. Right? It is deep where we come from with the plant. It is more than just medicine. Right? It's also lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Thank you, DOD. I feel like I went to church and I came back a holy man. Hey! Thank you, Rudy. That was nice of you. You know, so one of the things I really look forward to is that whenever I work on Rudy is one of these people, one of the few people that actually I let use your body work on me.
That's what I do, body work.
You do body work. And one of the things I like talking to you about is the fact that cannabis doesn't work for you.
No, I tried. I tried to smoke pot. I tried. I gave it my best shot in college. I gave it my best shot in high school.
Right.
And I failed.
Right. And
I tried.
Now, when you work on people, though, how are they left feeling? Do you think they feel stoned?
Yes. Their eyes get glassy. They walk into a wall. They forget how to put their shoes on. It looks like they're high.
Right. Now, that's the thing I want to talk about, y'all. That body work turns on the endocannabinoid system. That's what's going on. If you get good body work, y'all, your endocannabinoid system should be activated. You should be walking out of the PT or the massage. Oh, wow. It hurts so good, like the gym.
Oh.
No. No. All right, and I'm telling y'all, everybody who wants to work on their tolerance issues and also the issues that go behind their need for cannabis, the thing they want to work on is actually body work. Getting a massage and learning how to meditate will make the cannabis work better. And that's part of the reason why I have Yoga Nidra here.
Getting reconnected with your body.
Right.
Instead of avoiding it. Instead
Right.
of smoking pot to disappear from your body, if you smoke pot to get connected.
Right.
Like
Imagine.
Yes.
Yes. Right. That's
you can take it to a whole new level instead of phasing out. You can like have that enlightenment, that kind of feeling.
No, that's exactly what see, that's the thing that I'm talking about. I want to get across. For me, that first morning, so many people refer to as wake and bake, right? I want that to become in the culture, wake, bake, and meditate, right? Because when we go to that stillness, the endocannabinoid system is ready for the day, right? It's that stillness. What did your guru tell you, Muktananda? What did Muktananda tell you about the importance of meditation?
Well, that it's a quiet mind.
A quiet mind is better than a positive mind.
A quiet mind is the source of everything.
Right. A quiet mind is the source of everything, y'all. And that's what I'm trying to say. Our cannabis was bred by the monks and priests of the monasteries of the Himalayas for the purpose of meditation. The fact that we found it and turned it into, again, medicine is secondary to the fact that it's here as spiritual food. Spiritual food. And I know that Rudy in her Yoga Nidra work is offering spiritual food. And one of the things we're doing with Physician for the People is we're bringing people in to get work done. So it's not just about the plant, it's about learning how to take care of the plant within.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're doing body work here. We're working with people's diets. We're working with how people are actually sourcing their endocannabinoid deficiencies, right? And that's how we want to take this apart medically, right? Clinically, not just medically.
Well, and oddly enough, getting
Yeah.
people out of their heads, which I think the design of the corporate world, the political world, is trying to make us prisoners in our head.
Right.
And make us nowhere else, take our awareness off our body, off of our spiritual life. They just want us trapped in our head.
Need something outside yourself.
Right.
Yes.
When everything you have is already inside you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, when cannabis is used to assist the world, come on in, Corey. Come on in, brother. Come on,
You need a chair.
Oh, stand up. With cannabis,
I know you don't mean that.
listen, I'm telling you, when the plant within is released, that's from my butt. The cannabis within, right? The source of divinity within.
Yeah.
When we activate it, this is the thing I got to get across, and I don't know if I do a good job, Reverend. You tell me.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, tell me. Is the thing I'm trying to say is that we want to hit the ground running, but the thing is we want to hit the ground rebooted,
Yeah.
right?
New shoes for the soul.
New shows for the soul.
And new soles on the
Well,
shoe.
you look good. Thank you. I like the glasses on you. You look great.
It's just because it's really bright right now, and I'm like really medicated. So
Oh, beautiful. What's your strain du jour?
tonight I'm smoking Wi-Fi, and this is Incredible Bulk.
Oh, that's
Some
awesome.
Incredible
Wi-Fi, wax around it.
That's awesome.
It's mean and green.
It's mean and green, right? You know,
And it
one of
gets
the things we
stuff
want to
done.
talk about again is you can't smoke weed, can you?
No.
What does it do to you if you try to smoke weed? It's so cute. Look at it. I know.
No.
You get silly.
Yeah, what happens when
Is
you
that
try?
what it is? You get silly.
I stare at things.
Well, we all do that. That's just part of being
No, but I
creative.
take it to a whole new level. It's kind of instant.
Not really.
really?
Everybody goes to a whole new level.
And then I fall asleep. So,
Right? The example of
And
someone
what are
you
your
see,
dreams
like,
like?
again, healthy muscle tone. No, not like look, healthy muscle tone, right? A person who like too much cannabis is disorienting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and no offense, but like again, more of a thin muscle tone. Right? Notice the difference.
that's
the
why
body
I'm
type.
here, because I see all the positive things of people who use, what do we call it here? Pot?
No
weed?
cannabis. I know, right? You don't even.
Am I
I
dating
didn't even know.
myself?
Cannabis is our
Is it like
word of choice.
cannabis?
Right.
Cannabis?
I was
Okay.
using weed a couple weeks ago until I realized no one else did. So now I changed it to the plant.
Did I date myself?
plant, yeah.
Plant
Is it
works
just,
too.
Is
Yeah,
it
the
just
plant.
a
The plant,
age thing?
cannabis.
Am I dating myself?
You are dating yourself. Never say no. One of the things that we learned is that marijuana is a slur. It's a kind of racial slur.
Yeah.
Right?
We do not say marijuana.
We never say
Reefer
marijuana.
Madness bullshit.
Yeah, it makes it Hispanic
Propaganda.
and makes it negative.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the original thing. Yeah.
It
we didn't
drags
know.
the word down. Like
Yeah.
it's no longer
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
accepted
this is
at all.
important to the people I'm going to have watch
Right.
this show.
Exactly.
Give me some cultural.
These are one of the things actually that the general public doesn't know. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they call it marijuana?
Yep.
Right? Because that was the way that Hearst, William Randolph Hearst, used that yellow journalism in the 20s. Now Hearst owned a ton of lumber yards. Now what they realized is that when hemp was legal,
It's gonna kill their business.
kill all
It's
the
going to kill their business.
kill their business. So he used his newspaper business, and Hearst was a well-known racist, to first target Mexicans in New Mexico,
Yep.
and then again in the Southwest in Colorado. Target Mexicans, and that's why we know it as marijuana, the Mexican devil weed. Right. Otherwise, it was known as cannabis.
Cannabis.
Right. Cannabis is its traditional name. And let's remember one thing. Right. What's the cousin of cannabis? Hemp.
Hemp.
You ever hear of New Hampshire?
Rutarellis.
Oh.
You ever hear of New Hampshire?
Yep.
You know how prevalent hemp was in this country to name an entire state? Hampshire? I'm just going to take the entire 50th of the United States, 1/12 of the original colonies, 1/13 of the entire, and just grow hemp.
Yeah.
What is
Okay?
it? Woody Harrelson's documentary is all about how you can use hemp, and
Save
it
the
looks
world.
like bamboo. It doesn't look like.
Right.
No.
Right.
What's
No.
the word cannabis? It doesn't
It's
look like
Rutarellis.
cannabis.
It's not gonna grow the same at all. It's
Right,
gonna
right.
grow a whole nother way.
Oh,
And-
is hemp technically ruderalis?
No.
There- no.
Just the way it grows.
Oh, it grows like
It grows with no flower. There's no flower. I mean, it's all.
It looks like bamboo. You can't
Exactly.
kill it. It grows
Yeah.
in snow. It grows like bad weather. Everything.
And
right?
it takes like 30 days, you know what I'm saying, for it to grow. And here's another fact that a lot of people don't know about. Those boats that they was bringing slaves over the Atlantic slave trade
Right.
was made out of hemp.
Yeah. Fascinating. Right. Of course. And all the sales
Everything
were.
was made out of hemp
Right.
back
Everything
then.
back then. Yeah,
Everything.
Right. Oh, right. See, that's why we have pictures of Rembrandt. So the reason why we have freaking it's okay to smoke the plant in Amsterdam, right? Because all those sailors used to smoke hemp, and because of the canvas, they needed to have hemp for the sails, for the ropes.
Well, I mean, how else
Well,
could
the
you be
Navy
able to
still
vote that
doesn't the
long?
Navy
Right.
still use them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Navy still uses them, but
Yeah.
they
Because
have to
it's the
import
strongest
the hemp.
fiber there is.
Right. But we have to get it from China.
Yeah.
Or
Do me
India
a
or
China.
Canada.
Do me a China. China.
China.
Give me a presidential China.
Yeah, I try not to like have him in my consciousness like that.
As much as
I'm a pretty good impressionist, but I don't do Trump. I don't do Trump because I feel polluted.
You feel polluted.
Yeah,
Feels
violated.
dirty.
Violated.
It would
Yeah,
definitely shift your karma.
it's like a bad juju word. It really is.
Yeah.
Right.
Trump takes a dump on your soul. Just having him in your consciousness is just so bad, so bad.
Right.
It is. It's cancerous.
Yeah, it's
I
literally
I
chunk
tweet
your
about
soul.
him as a cancerous asshole.
But look at this, Ray. Right. With this guy, with this asshole in charge, he's raising the bar in terms of what we're not going to put up with anymore. Look, we won't even put up with Al Franken.
There's
Oh.
chaos
It's a weird
before-
kind of chaos he's created.
Chaos before organization.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need to
There's
fall
a
down
weird-
before you get back up.
Right.
That's right.
I don't like him, but
It's not the right
he
color.
is the president this country deserves. He's bringing up all our acne.
What did I do?
You didn't get in. We haven't been involved enough to, Rev. Well, you know what? Until Trump got in charge, we thought we could trust people. We thought we could trust
well,
the people
yeah,
in charge,
I thought
right?
we could trust our
Unfortunately,
fellow-
we've been complacent,
fellow citizens. Yeah.
Right? And it's time for us to step up our responsibility.
Wow.
Right? So, Jay, listen, give me that Chomsky one more time, and then we'll reorganize these motherfuckers.
There has never been a medical reason for criminalizing marijuana. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with dangerous classes, poor people generally. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with poor people, dangerous classes. First criminalization of marijuana was in the Southwest. It was in New Mexico, later Utah, and so on, and it was specifically targeted against Mexico. Marijuana didn't get criminalized in the United States until shortly after Prohibition ended. After Prohibition ended, we had this huge Bureau of Narcotics, and they had to do something. So they discovered marijuana is going to do all kind of horrible things to you. The Senate testimony about this is mind-boggling. They did have a representative of the American Medical Association who said, we don't have any medical evidence about this. He was shut up, denounced, got rid of him right away. Then they found somebody else, a pharmacologist, a guy teaching at Temple University, who was doing experiments with marijuana in dogs. They brought this guy in. He testified that when he gave marijuana to dogs, they went insane. Marijuana to dogs, they went insane. They do all kind of things. Some senators asked him, the guy, well, have you ever tried marijuana on humans? So he said, yeah, I tried it on myself. And he said, well, what happened? He said, I turned into a vulture. I started flying around the room. Oh my God, this stuff is terrible. It makes people insane. And marijuana, it was declared by Congress that marijuana makes people insane. But then something happened. It turned out that lawyers, defense lawyers, got the idea and used this for an insanity defense. So if a guy was found, who killed 3 cops, his lawyer would say, well, he had marijuana before, so he was insane, so he can't do anything. And people were getting off on charges, like cop killing, for example, on the claim that they had marijuana. So all of a sudden it was discovered that marijuana doesn't make you insane. Congress decided, sorry, it doesn't make you insane, because we want to wipe that out. The next idea was marijuana is an entry drug. It's a drug you take and then you go on to something else. Well, there was never any evidence for that. But that was decided. And then in the early 50s, something else happened. Marijuana is being brought in here by red Chinese to poison the American population and destroy us. So therefore, we got to stop marijuana. And it kind of goes on like this. Actually, the peak of marijuana use was, as I said, in the 70s. But that was rich kids, so you don't throw them in jail. And then it got seriously criminalized. You know, you really put people in jail for it when it was poor people. There has never been a medical reason for criminalizing marijuana. Marijuana was criminalized because it was associated with poor people, dangerous classes.
Right? So then I'm sitting there and I didn't realize that they could see me. Oh, all right. Anyways, I wanted to ask you, Rudy, you're one of the more, in fact, if not the most enlightened healers that I know.
To the overwhelming.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's put that to an instrumental. That's all right. Yeah, thank you, brother. No, so for real. Now, as someone who I know is really in touch with getting people sort of to feel better and to heal better, right? That both. What do you see now in our time? How would you describe the disease of our time? Where are we?
Well, it's working out to our favors as healers because people just don't have the money to go to doctors, and so they're desperate, and they'll come to acupuncture, chiropractor, massage. They'll do anything that they can afford. But the trick is that we make them feel better, and not just hand them out drugs to mask the symptoms. So it's in our favor. What's going on now is in our favor.
Right. The thing is that the physician for the people, what we're trying to design is releasing the physician within. Right?
It's there. You are your own teacher, your own physician. It's just there. And things like marijuana or some of the therapies I do will release that. You fix yourself.
Right. That's the odd thing.
Facilitate it.
That's the thing to talk about. Right.
Facilitate it.
That's the hard thing to explain to people. How does the body reset itself?
And people get so upset because they want to come back, and you're like, you feel better, and they say, no, I'm indoctrined to keep coming back and keep coming back.
Right.
I'm like, no, but you're good.
What's the thing you think that actually keeps people from breaking through and living in their healing?
They're conditioned not to feel better. They're conditioned not to take their own responsibility.
I believe that. Reverend, what do you say about this?
I think fear is being emphasized as a drive, and like drive as in move cattle.
So in other words, we're being controlled with fear.
Oh yeah, and we're even afraid of the environment. We're afraid we're afraid of other people breathing on us because we're going to get something.
Okay, now let's talk about that. Right now, that is the real that's the disease of our time, the false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Right now, one of the things that when the cannabis actually does its job, the first layer of the revelation is what, Reverend? The first layer of the revelation is all is well.
Okay.
Right. That's in fact the centerpiece of the landmark wisdom course.
Oh, and there can't be anything more.
Well, all is well.
Oh, see, I didn't know that because I never took wisdom.
Right. Well, you wouldn't recognize yourself.
Yeah. Well, no, that was teachers and leaders, so it was different.
Different. Right. But the idea that that deep down inside all is well, and that we could own that, and yet our leaders want to control us with fear.
And he's the only one that can fix it.
There's no money in feeling better. There's no money in feeling better.
Right.
There's no money in feeling better.
Right. Except for the people who. Right. I'm sorry. Finish that.
Well, when I first met you as my doctor, before we become awesome friends, you're like, I'm going to fix what I find.
Right. Fix what you
find.
find.
And you say at the end of the session, I hope I don't see you again.
That's true. I don't want to see people. That's a weird thing, right? As a good physician.
My goal is so you don't come back.
Right. The goal of this program is really so that y'all.
Model.
Right.
Exactly the opposite.
Opposite of the capitalist model. Opposite of the capitalist model. Right. I know that if I get people well, they're going to tell their friends. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about you not telling your friends.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Right. There's no worry. There's plenty of sick people. Right. The truth is, though, where I'm going with this is how do we get people to take care of themselves now in the modern age where it's so much more stressful? And the thing that's available to them that wasn't available to them before is cannabis is medicine.
Yep.
And if people can take care of themselves with cannabis in their armamentarium of the way they can take care of themselves, now they got nutrient cannabis. And now they've got Rudy to do work on them. Right? If we put the two of them together, you know what we have? We've got the cure to what ails you. We got the cure. We really do have the cure.
Sustainable.
The sustainable cure for this country.
And without putting in substances that are manufactured in laboratories. And I'm not shooting down the geniuses that are really actually trying to help.
Right.
They have value.
Chemicals that aren't naturally obtained
Thank you.
are going to play with you. It don't matter because they are not organic in nature. Something about putting them in a test tube just like wax it. You know.
Rev, you couldn't be. Look, I've only met a couple of billionaires in my life, right? And one of the no, I don't even know how many I tell, but I know I took care of one because he told me, right? He's like, my name is A. I don't even tell you his name. He's probably listening and he's sue us. My name is AT, right? And I, basically made $1.5 billion in an IPO on Wall Street. And the story was it was a computer program simulation of drug interaction. And so what AT told me was like, let me tell you how it works. Okay, I'll boil it down for you, Christos. One drug, I can tell you what it's going to do to you. 2 drugs, maybe. 3, no.
Right.
Right. He says basically you cannot predict the action.
And you get to be over 70 years old. You're on 5 or 6 prescriptions that are going. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. It's called polypharmacy.
Nuts.
Now,
they don't recommend.
It's absolutely nuts.
Eat food.
Right.
Use your food as a medicine.
Right. And that's where we're going with
proper
cannabis.
Nutrition. Drink lots of water.
You should be only on one medicine at a time.
Yeah.
And everything else should be diet and cannabis.
Yeah.
Diet.
And you shouldn't have the medicine unless you're already sick. Drugs can make an abnormal situation normal. They can, if you're abnormal.
Yeah.
But they will take a normal situation and make it abnormal.
Yeah.
Now, we have to maximize the normal, or else we'll end up being stuck in the abnormal. And that's where exactly our healthcare situation is now. People are stuck in polypharmacy.
And what they're trying to make normal is all these people wigged out on their chemicals.
Right. We estimate that at the best colleges in the country, like maybe Harvard may qualify, 30 to 35% of the students there are on Ritalin and other kind of Adderall, right? Psychotropic medications, right?
Speed.
Can you be at your best? Can the country really be at its best if it's medicated?
And some of them use it on purpose just to study better.
I would.
Not even.
I've looked at it. I have a friend. I say, hey, would you actually prescribe Adderall to me? Right? Medical doctor says, actually, I'll tell you, I thought about it myself. It's called Dadderall. Dadderall, when it's optional, right? They say it only works for about 10 years.
Okay.
Right, after 10 years, it doesn't work no more.
It
plateaus and it's over.
Yeah.
So he says you got 10 years and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I should just take vitamins.
Let me tell you about Adderall, man. Adderall is nothing but legalized speed.
That's true.
That's all Adderall is, for real, because back then it's used for ADHD, ADD students. I'm dyslexic, but I do have ADD tendencies. And back in the day, like they was putting people on Ritalin. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to find another drug that wasn't as they thought was going to, damage people like Ritalin. Unfortunately, with Adderall, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor or nothing like that. I just think, in my honest opinion, in my experience going to Landmark College, shout out to Landmark in Putney, Vermont, it's the only school for ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia. And that's how I learned about Adderall, because at the time, when I was going to school, they was like, fuck weed, I want Adderall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they used to snort it like it was, cocaine.
Yeah.
And okay, when you snort it, it hits you 10 times faster than any other, all at once. I guarantee you do a 10-page paper in about like 30 minutes. You're going to clean up your space, but at the same token, the crash is terrible. You don't have an appetite while you're using this medicine, and you're completely wired. And not only that, when you try to get off Adderall.
Oh God, what's that like?
I'm going to tell you right now, from my experience.
No, for reals.
That's why I'm with Team Indica today. Because of the abuse that I was doing with Adderall back in the day. It causes me to have a hard time to go to sleep. I have insomnia problems. So, being though I have spinal stenosis, lumbar disc, L4, L5, S1, which it makes it even more difficult to sleep. Then, you got this thing that trying to recuperate with, and your body's never the same.
Right. We have to speak that truth.
That your body is
never
not
the same.
If you abuse Adderall the way I've seen people abuse Adderall, and it's funny that y'all brought that up, because nobody is really talking about the abuse
making money.
of Adderall, because it makes
All use is abuse. I'm sorry. All right, as a natural physician, I'm going to tell you now, right? When I have parents, when I used to practice in other places, right, it's very interesting. People would give me their kids so they wouldn't put them on Adderall. When I moved to Mid-Atlantic, moved to Maryland, I get all these affluent people. I live in an affluent neighborhood now. Totally different. I just put my kids on Adderall. I want to make sure I'm taking care of doing everything else right. Like, holy shit, lady. Like, so I'm serious. The rich people don't want to even feed their kids. They're too busy. What do you eat for breakfast? Cliff Bars. Right? Right. So
instead of real breakfast.
Instead of real breakfast.
Instead of oatmeal. Or better yet, a hot breakfast like eggs.
Yeah.
Toast.
It's that, and so that's what I'm saying.
Cream of wheat.
I've never seen a case brought to me that we did a dietary reevaluation and the kid didn't need the Ritalin. Right? Every time I've done a workup on a kid who was about to go on the Ritalin, for reals, if you do it right, it's a blood sugar and food allergy issue usually. Like they're allergic to something, but they can't get it out of their diet. Like they're allergic to gluten, but they keep on having to eat, unknowingly have it in their diet. So they're agitated, and that will bounce your blood sugar up and down. That's why the speed or the Adderall actually evens them out.
And no. There's a lot of parents. I was a nanny in very rich areas, and the parents was like, just give them drugs. I'm not taking all that time.
Not taking the time to cook.
They're not eating what we're eating. Can't I just give them drugs?
This is what I think about the Murdica dream.
Yeah.
I don't call it America dream. It's Murdica dream. People want to be so enhanced that they don't want to be human. They want to think in a robotic state of mind because, you know what I'm saying, they want to be known for structure.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Known for structure.
Yeah.
However, when you're giving your kids like Kool-Aid, which has red 4.
Right.
Sugar.
It has. Don't let me even bring up this. I'm trying to bring up like the chemical shit, like the blue 30, the orange. You know, say all the dyes.
Yeah.
Forget the sugar.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, forget the sugar. Think about the other chemicals that is messing up with the brain. Think about it.
Making crystals where they don't belong.
No, I love this conversation because this is going right down the alley. DOD for real. Now, somehow we live in a culture where it's been sanitized to give our kids, right, all these horrible chemicals. We call Kool-Aid and candies and Halloween. But if we talk about giving our kids CBD, talking about giving autistic kids perhaps Charlotte Web. Oh my God, people gonna lose their mind.
Or better yet, or better yet.
Yes, sir.
Here's the crazy part.
Tell me.
When I was growing up, I'm 33 years old. When I was going to school, they was teaching us how to garden.
Right.
Do they teach that in school now?
No.
Pretty much.
So that's how you started off.
Not public school.
Right.
Or better yet, even in private schools. They don't teach them, you know what I'm saying, about gardening.
Right.
They have a class called botany, you know what I'm saying, where they talk about the plant. But forget that.
Yeah.
What about teaching your kids how to plant vegetables, fruits?
Right. Okay.
That's how you start. That's how you start. You know what I'm saying? That's how you put.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to throw a metaphor in.
No,
but that's how you throw in the mustard seed.
Yes, sir.
Connect with the earth.
That's how you throw in the mustard seed, so that way our generation, you know what I'm saying, my generation and the kids before me can be able to pass it on, because that's a rare art, you know what I'm saying, that's being lost right now. Yep. Is gardening. Yeah, we talk about growing cannabis, which is good, but this is what I think about, in my opinion. Teach people how to be self-sufficient.
Yep.
That's how you break, you know what I'm saying, the stigma.
Word.
Because we've been conditioned for so long to rely on
turn people
what the system, you know what I'm saying, they want us to be in this mental slavery.
Separate them from one another.
Whereas though we don't have to change no more. We're chained in the mind.
I love.
Because once you cut the head off from the body, everything else falls.
I want to stay with it. This is deep, and this is the real thing, right? Cannabis is the antidote to that kind of brainwash that we live in, right? Because that's what we're talking to people in the cannabis community. We somehow, the cannabis community naturally woke, right? It's something about it. It's a natural lie detector. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's evident, right? Now, what we got to learn is if we got the truth on our side, and yet the lies prevail, right? We got to learn from the liars in a way, because we got to. So I love what you really said about learning about gardening. And this is what I want to share with the cannabis community. One of the things I'm trained in, right, is a kind of soil balance testing, right? But it's the same kind of testing that you do in the urine and saliva. So the high-end German, Swiss spa medicine is the same technique as soil medicine. And the same tools, measuring the Brix, measuring the pH, measuring the nitrates and ammonia, the same kit that you're going to use to do a complex soil analysis, the same kit that I use to measure people's saliva and urine, right? It's called biological terrain. And one of the things, the reason why I'm working with the cannabis community, because I know people here working like a no-till. They're working on soil technologies, right?
Yeah.
Right? I know that I can pass this technology on to a community who already knows how to do soil tech. They already have the tools. Now, if, like for example, if you're growing and you know the soil, it's too acidic, you know how to tell that now. Now you can test your urine. I am too acidic, right? And I got the databases and stuff. I'm gonna make them. They're meant to be open resource. Take them, right? I paid $10,000 for them. The guy I bought them for died. You know, no one's gonna chase me. Take them now. They're open resource. Take the data. It's simple programs. But basically, all this database, 100 years old, Swiss, German spa medicine. In other words, before the food was polluted, what does the saliva look like on a healthy person, right? What does the diet look like? All these norms from the soil and from people's bodily fluids.
Yep.
Right? So we're talking about how do we make people self-sufficient? First of all, get them growing.
You got it. That's why I say, you guys, that's how you throw in the mustard seed in. Once you throw in the mustard seed and you nourish it.
Right.
That's how it grows.
Right.
But you just can't throw in the seed
And walk away.
and expect for it to grow on its own.
Yeah.
You and I take the community together. You and I, it's not no we, you know what I'm saying, or me. When you spell community or unity, it takes you and I. It's more than just me. It's more than just you. It takes us to work together. And once, you know what I'm saying, we get rid of labels, that's another thing, you know what I'm saying, we gotta get rid of is labels. We have to get rid of labels, because when you have a situation that we have right now, first of all, I don't see myself as African American. I see myself as a human. You get what I'm saying? I see myself as a human before I'm African American.
Right.
I'm a human being. So once I look at people as human beings, because we have some good human beings, we got some mediocre human beings, and we got some wicked motherfuckers like the 45th president. You know what I'm saying? I had to use the terminology up in New England, wicked. Because he's a wicked president.
Wicked is sort of wicked cool as in New England.
Cool.
Yeah, you watch it. He's wicked bad.
But I'm just saying he's just wicked.
Like-
He's just wicked.
The witch, like the bad witch.
He's a bad witch.
The wicked
So-
must be banished.
You have to get rid of labels. Once you get rid of labels, then the open-mindedness comes into play.
But is the Cheeto Hitler himself, the way that we make fun of him as wicked, is that a label? Are we guilty in some ways of painting with that same broad stroke?
It's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
It's a double-edged sword.
But-
But like I said, but if we get rid of the labels,
Yeah.
and look at the vibrations,
Right.
Because we know what's good and what is not. And if you feel the energy, you know what I'm saying, that it's not good energy for you, then you are the one responsible to remove yourself or allow yourself to tolerate that negative vibration.
Spoken like a gentleman, sir. No,
So
for real.
there
Spoken like a
is
gentleman.
Responsibility when you are in tune with your own body and you actually listen to your own body.
Right.
You can avoid bad situations.
Now, what are we listening to in this situation? We're listening to the endocannabinoid system in both examples. The endocannabinoid system actually is what activates the epigenetics. What we pass on is what's left incomplete in the endocannabinoid system, right? So if the Reverend inspires me and my endocannabinoid system is lifted, the plant within grows.
And then that's how the universe grows.
Right, and that's how the universe grows.
Because when people say like this is a small area, nah, it's just the universe is connected.
Right.
We finally been aligned together, you know what I'm saying, to be able to let people know that this is our time.
This is our time.
You know what I'm saying? All these oppressors that's been doing this, you know what I'm saying, more than 500 years. Been, you know what I'm saying, since the man of time. Their time is running out. Very, very, you know what I'm saying, like in fact, now. So, be in tune with what's going on today. Even though me personally, I don't watch the news, but in order for me to replace not watching the news, I interact, you know what I'm saying, with the community positive.
Oh God, yeah.
Meaning
You're way
that, like,
involved.
if you trying to talk drama about me, guess what? I don't know nothing.
Right, right.
It has to be all positive vibrations. I don't do.
No, that's true.
That, like, yeah, if it's about drama, if it's not about me enhancing as a better person,
right?
I don't want to hear it,
No,
and I don't want to talk about it.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that truth? Come on. I've never met anybody in this community, in the cannabis community, who's full of, no, for real. It doesn't want to get real on some level. And the thing that you said that got my attention, this is what it is. It's the ability to come to conclusion. Right? Like, you know what you mean. You know what you feel. In other words, right? That's the thing that I think when people activate their endocannabinoid system, they're bullshit meters. They're a little bit more precise. You can't pee on my leg and tell me it's just raining. It's the fucking system. This is a fucking police state. Don't tell me it's a free country.
It's a police world now.
It's a police world now. Don't tell me it's a free country.
It's never, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny when they mention the word legal. Slavery was legal.
Right. Slavery was legal.
And they say that being legal is right.
Right.
So what that lets you know about this world.
Right. That's it.
Simple, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to use a lot of acronyms. Simple. Simple, you know what I'm saying? It's like when they say the word KISS, keep it simple, student. Not stupid.
Student, I like that. Keep it simple, student.
Keep it simple, student, because we're still
students.
learning.
We're all students.
We're all students, you know what I'm saying, in this situation we call life. That's why I say I don't know nothing, because the day when I feel as though I know everything, that's when I'm in trouble.
Right.
And that's what's wrong. I'm not even going to say that's what's wrong. That is what the conclusion is. Is that people think that they know so much that they close their mind to learn anything. So when you're trying to engage in a conversation with people, especially those that know everything, they feel like they're entitled to empowerment. And that's not Yahweh-like.
Yahweh-like would be nice.
That is not the higher power way.
Oh my goodness. God bless you. I didn't know we were going to go to such a high vibration. I got nothing to say. No, I don't want to take a break. I want to take that. I want to absorb the silence. That was so profound. That's true. All true.
And that's through
all true
trials and tribulations that I went through in my 33 years, you know what I'm saying, and living. I don't openly talk about it as much, but ever since I was 10 years old, like, I've always loved science. I've won back, using the same project. In fact, I enhanced my What Is Bacteria project from the 4th grade into the 5th grade, came back-to-back first places because I learned so much from the first time I created my own bacteria. Is that I had to go back to year 2 to see what I can do in order, you know what I'm saying, to create good bacteria. And I need to, for myself, speaking for myself right now, I need to go back to those essence of when I was in school and being able to pass on.
Right. The thing that I'm really present to right here, right? Cannabis, when we listen to the interstate, our life becomes our life guru, our life coach, our life guru. Bob, Reverend, you want to say something?
We, in the name of community, we kind of have to wrap because we got to move stuff.
Oh, I apologize.
No. I'm letting him know a technical thing.
Right,
it's not about you. It's not about. No. You're doing good. You're doing great.
Do you have time for me?
You have time for you? One more thing. Talk to me, girlfriend.
So, I observe a lot, and the way you would breathe in yoga looks like you breathe when you inhale cannabis, because the idea of yoga is exhale longer than you inhale. And I'm watching people, you get the air in, you hold, and there's magic in that pause. There's There's magic in the pause. We breathe in, we breathe out, and you don't pay attention to that pause. But when you smoke, you breathe in and you pause, and there's magic in that pause.
I'm gonna
And
give.
you exhale.
Love that.
I'm gonna
That's
give
yoga.
one. I'm gonna give one more tidbit that,
Give me a tidbit.
and this is the only time I like to be sober. I stop, I observe, I breathe, I expand my decision, then finally I respond to the decision that I want to do.
That's
Before
freedom.
you know what I'm saying? Just at first, when I was young, I just wanted to respond.
React. No, just wanted to react.
I just wanted to respond and react.
Yeah, reflexively. Yeah.
But once I learned that technique,
That
and I'm still
pause.
learning that technique.
That pause
Yes.
is the freedom.
have been
Pause is
discussing
true freedom.
Once you get past stop and you get the chance to observe what you're feeling, then you can finally breathe in positive vibrations.
And that's what it's about, y'all. We're going to sum up. Reverend, listen, thank you for being who you are. For real.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
any other way to
listen,
go.
and Corey, real deal. Listen, you were here for us when we were doing technical difficulties. I'm serious, like a pillar. DOD, I'm telling you. Thank you for making the show. Thank you for stepping up. I know I can depend on you. We had some glitches come up.
And thank you
And
for
you
your
stepped right up.
wisdom.
Thank you. And Rudy,
And it all started with a drug I used to abuse. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, cannabis is the way.
Cannabis-
No more synthetic drugs.
End of the
No
day.
more.
it's the exit drugs. Not the, hey!
Hey!
Thank you, Yoga Nidra. Listen, with the rest of the time we have left, right? We're gonna go back to the Chomsky, play me a Chomsky, and do and play just pan to the groove, pan to the left, and we'll just construct. All right? Listen, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna watch this again and figure out what went on. I love you all.
Be blessed and be safe out there, man.
Right on.
I have been discussing some of the means of thought control and the reasons why these measures gain such prominence in democratic systems in which the general population cannot be driven from the political arena by force. The discussion may leave the impression that the system is all-powerful, but that is very far from true. People have significant capacities to resist, and sometimes do, with great effect.
Fact is that to an extraordinary extent, by comparative standards, the United States is a business-run society, which means that human rights are subordinated to the overwhelming, overriding need of profit for investors. Decisions are placed in the hands of unaccountable private tyrannies, which means that even if formal democratic practices exist as they do, they're of peripheral significance. The government, in fact, is, as John Dewey called it 50 or 60 years ago, the shadow cast by business over society, so that modifications in the shadow are not going to change the substance. These were truisms throughout most of American history, including American working class history, until quite recently, until the 1950s, in fact. And it also means that social policy is geared to the transfer of wealth and power to those who already have it, and deliberately so. Now, in more democratic societies, by that I mean societies where democratic forms function more, there are countervailing forces that enable the public to enter the arena of policy and decision. That's only true to a very limited extent, a remarkably limited extent in the United States, despite quite impressive democratic forms.
I have been discussing some of the means of thought control and the reasons why these measures gain such prominence in democratic systems in which the general population cannot be driven from the political arena by force. The discussion may leave the impression that the system is all-powerful, but that is very far from true. People have significant capacities to resist, and sometimes do, with great effect.